I want to ask you something uncomfortable. If you disappeared from the organization you are working in for 2 weeks, completely unreachable, what would happen to your team? If the honest answer is things would fall apart, decisions would not get made, work would pile up waiting for me, you have a delegation deficit. And the problem is not your team, it is you. Most managers do not delegate enough, and almost all of them have a reason that sounds completely reasonable. Nobody else does it as well as I do. It is faster to do it myself. I do not want to burden my team. If something goes wrong, it reflects on me. Every one of these reasons feels true, and every one of them is quietly destroying your leadership. Here is what the delegation deficit actually costs. It costs your team their development. Every task you do yourself is a task someone else did not learn from. It costs your organization its resilience. A team that depends on one person for every decision is one illness or resignation away from crisis. And it costs you your leadership because a manager who is doing everything has no time to actually lead, to think, to develop people, to plan ahead. You are not being helpful when you do everything yourself. You are being indispensable in a way that hurts everyone and the organization. Three reasons managers do not delegate, and a shift that fixes each one. Reason 1, the quality gap. Nobody does it as well as I do. This is true initially, but it is also completely irrelevant to the question of whether to delegate. When you were new to a task, you did not do it as well as your manager either. Someone delegated to you anyway, and you learned, and eventually you did it well. The quality gap is not a reason to withhold delegation, it is the entire point of delegation. You are not delegating a finished product, you are delegating a learning opportunity. The shift: stop delegating outcomes and start delegating ownership. Do not say, do this exactly as I would. Say, here is the result we need. Here is the support I will give you. Here is how we will review it together. Then let them find their own path to the result. Reason 2, the time gap. It is faster to do it myself. Also true in the short term, but that is the most expensive short term thinking in management. Every time you choose speed today over development tomorrow, you are ensuring that tomorrow you will still be doing everything yourself because you never gave anyone else the chance to learn. The shift: separate your time into two buckets: time spent doing versus time spent developing. Right now, your doing bucket is full, your developing bucket is almost empty. Delegation moves tasks from your doing basket into someone else's and into your developing basket. 1 hour spent teaching someone to do something you currently do saves you that hour every week for the rest of their time with you. Reason 3, the accountability gap. If something goes wrong, it reflects on me. This is the deepest reason and the most honest one. Yes, as the manager, outcomes are ultimately your responsibility, but responsibility and execution are not the same thing. You can be accountable for results without being the person who produces them. That is literally the definition of manager. The shift: delegate with a safety net, not a blindfold. Do not throw someone into a task and disappear. Delegate with clear expectations, agreed checkpoints, and an open door for questions. You stay accountable for the outcome, they own the execution. Both things are true simultaneously. I worked with a manager, a senior team lead in a PSU organization in Assam. He was working 12-hour days. His team was working 8 hours days, and his team's performance was mediocre. When I observed his work for a week, the pattern was clear immediately. Every significant decision came to him. Every client communication went through him. Every problem landed on his desk, regardless of whether his team could have solved it. So I asked him, when did you last complete a task that one of your team members could have done instead? He thought about it. Then he said, this morning, before 9 a.m. I asked, and the morning before that? He said, also before 9 a.m. The pattern was daily. He was choosing to do rather than to develop. Not because he was a bad manager, because doing felt safe and delegating felt risky. We worked through the 3 shifts. Over 6 weeks, he deliberately moved 7 tasks from his doing list to his team members' ownership, with clear expectations, with checkpoints, with support. 8 weeks later, his team's output had increased by 30%, and he was working 9-hour days instead of 12. He had not worked less hard, he had worked differently, and so had his team. So, here is your challenge this week. Write down everything you did in the last 5 working days. Circle every task that someone on your team could have done instead of you. The list, those circle items, is your delegation opportunity. Pick one, just one, and this week hand it over properly with clear expectations, a checkpoint, and genuine support. Tell me in the comments, what is the one task you keep doing yourself that you know you should delegate? CHROs, if your managers are bottlenecks in their own teams, DM me, delegate, and let us talk. I am Bikash Kalita. See you next week.